Cool.
Okay, I'll focus.
All right. You're focusing.
What are you focusing on? My face? What do you want me to do?
Yes.
Strike a pose.
Yes.
This time was so different because this was after the impact of the first Rafiki that I released last year, and I got to see the actual change it made in the communities I visited. So as soon as I landed, I visited the Layla community, and they had this amazing welcoming party with signs that said "Thank you, Lilly," and it was just so special, obviously for me, but I think really validating for my parents because they know of the work I do. They see it online, they follow me on Instagram, so they kind of have an idea and a glimpse into what I do, but they don't actually know. And I think for them to see it firsthand and to meet girls that get to go to school because of the Rafiki and mothers who get to make these Rafikis, I think it really impacted them. I've never seen my parents be that proud before. And so I was like, yes, I did it! But especially my dad, there were so many times when he was just watching me talk to the young girls and watching them wear their Rafikis, and he was just really, really genuinely moved and touched. And that is a hard thing for my dad to be. So it's really, really special. Female empowerment is so important to me, especially in relation to the girls in Kenya for so many reasons. I think, growing up, I am fortunate enough to say I didn't have a really, really harsh battle with sexism. Of course, it's embedded culturally into the culture I was raised in. So I was told, you're a girl, you shouldn't do this, and girls shouldn't be this, and girls shouldn't have these expectations, and girls shouldn't talk so much. But I still was raised in a very fortunate circumstance where I got to do a lot of the things I wanted to do. I remember always complaining about school though. I always be like, I don't wake up so early for school and do these tests I don't care about. And then when I met particularly Vicky in Kenya last year, I remember asking her, we were sitting in her house, it was 10 people in a house with no electricity. It was so surreal, and I remember being like, I have to ask her a question. I just have to think of one question to ask her. And the question I asked was, if you could change one thing about your life, what would it be? And this is me. There was a chicken on my leg when I asked this question. I vividly remember. And she said, the only thing I ever wanted was to go to school, and I got that, so I don't need anything else. And that really put things into perspective for me, thinking of how much I used to complain about going to school and complain about having to study, and that these girls, the only thing they want is to go to school. We make doing good doable through a lot of ways. I think, the We events they have where kids get to come from their school and listen to inspirational speakers and also find out ways that they can use their own voice to make a difference. I think that's so important. We is very much so good at encouraging people to say, hey, you are passionate about something, discover what it is, and now figure out how you can impact the world in relation to that cause. And I think even when I'm standing on a We stage, or if I go to Kenya with We or I'm on a We trip, I feel very much so empowered because I see how a small action can have a really big impact. I'm not gonna lie, when I first made my Girl Love Rafiki, I thought, okay, I know this is gonna make a difference, but how much difference can this make? And is this really good? And then I went to Kenya and I was like, oh my gosh, this makes such a difference, because you realize that even if it's 10 people or 20 people or fortunately 600 people that are impacted by something, that's still people. Those are still stories being positively impacted, even if it's one or even if it's 1,000. And so they're really great at empowering people to understand just the impact any small action can have.